Really didn't want to make this video, but like something inside of me keeps like telling me that I need to make this video because one time I was feeling really down a couple years ago, and somebody posted a video, and I randomly found it, and it was very helpful. Um, this channel isn't just about lifting weights or exercising. I want to lift people's mentality and their mental states. My dream is to change the word mental into a positive word. Um, for 20 years of my life, I identified with a mental illness, and when I was a kid, I was told that I had these problems and like therapy could not work, and that I needed medication because there was something wrong with me. And I cannot bear to know and that there might be anyone in the world, kid or adult, that goes to bed at night and hates themselves every single day and thinks there's something wrong with them. Um, I believe in the universe. I don't think there's any mistakes. And if you believe in God, why would a God create you with something wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with you, and I don't want anyone to not be understood. And I know when I was a kid, nobody understood me. My parents didn't get what was going on. They thought they had done something wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just sometimes life is hard for some people, and like I would get in trouble at school because I hated the nonsense they were teaching, and my parents would go and talk to the teachers, and I'd see my parents crying, and they thought, "What did we do wrong?" Nothing. They didn't do anything wrong. And then, but when I was a kid, when seeing them crying, I thought I had done what's wrong with me. What I have done. Why am I here? I can't do anything right. And for as a kid, that was very hard for me. So I would go home and like probably, sometimes cry and feel very depressed and wonder, like why I was created if I can't do anything right. And it's very like not productive when kids are being, or college students or whatever people are being judged by their like grades in school, like that defines them, who they are. It's complete nonsense. All it does is make people sad. I never had a learning disability, learning how to skateboard or play basketball or run or interact with animals or help people. I never had a learning disability, any of that. I only had a learning disability and learning the complete nonsense. Could do a perfect report on when I was in sixth grade on Tupac Shakur's life, yet I couldn't read some stupid novel and do one on. So, I mean, I don't know why, just the nonsense I was learning, I couldn't deal. And I had to get medicated or be put on medications when I was younger, because it's not the other people's fault. It's not parents' fault. It's not teachers' fault. It's just they simply don't know, and they're just like listening to doctors' advices. And I don't even think the doctors even know sometimes. And it's not to blame them. I just don't. Sometimes I don't think they have the time of day to even want to help somebody. And so, and when I was in sixth grade, I wanted to write a speech on helping people with problems that were like me, because I thought I had overcome it. And my teachers, they shut me down. They said, you don't want to do that. You don't want to expose yourself and all this nonsense. See, my vision has always been clear on what I wanted to do, but, getting on the medications and dealing with life, and not having confidence in myself, and all that stuff really took a toll on me. And so I just, and about like from my experiences, like about 2 years ago, I was trying to come off this drug I had been taking for over 10 years. I tried to get off it before. It was called Klonopin, and I was about 5 months off it, and I ended up in the hospital with body internal tremors or vibrations. I don't know what they are. And it had been 5 months since I was off that and alcohol, because over my life I've turned to heavy alcohol use because I just simply couldn't bear to be who I was. But anyways, in the hospital, and the emergency doctor there asked me why I was on so many medications, and I said, well, one of them an antidepressant I've been taking forever, and the others are because I cannot take the Klonopin, so I have to take all these other drugs. And when the doctor said that, and at that moment in time, my life had been getting progressively worse. I had tried every medication. I'd ever tried a bunch of therapy, all this different stuff. When he said that, I knew that there was something wrong, and I knew that my life was not worth living the way I was living. So I made a promise to myself that day that I was willing to die to get off the medications, and get better and figure out the real problem. it did not go very well. You know, coming off some of those drugs can cause problems, but I didn't give up. I mean, I would fail and I would go back onto alcohol. I mean, I ended up in a psych ward because of coming off of the drugs are known to kind of make you. You're not. I wasn't. I mean, I was crazy because I was coming off the drugs. I was never like that before, and I failed. And there was points where I thought I was stuck in a permanent psychosis, and that I was like being tortured in hell, and all this nonsense from the drugs I was coming off of. It was not until I started learning about I had to seek my own help because I was in rehabs, like just passing time, because I knew that my brain was healing, I knew my body would heal, and nobody believed in me. Everyone thought I was crazy. Maybe some people did, but I mean, it didn't really seem like it. My parents didn't know what to do with me. They couldn't help me. Doctors didn't believe what I was saying. Just nothing was working. It was not until I took it and wanted to feel better and wanted this to work. I would go to any measure to figure out what was going on, and it was not until I started learning about basically the power of your imagination, and people say that your thought, and that how powerful words are too, because I realized that just hearing the word psychotic one time, a therapist, I heard him say that, I thought he was talking about me, and I almost fainted to the ground with fear. That's how powerful the word is. Or when I was coming off the Klonopin one time, one doctor thought I was becoming schizophrenic, and hearing that word and them saying that, I almost convinced myself that I was, and I was scared and wanted to die because I thought that I cannot bear to live with that. And anyways, it's just to show you how powerful words are. So that's another reason why I want to change the word mental into positive. But I was going somewhere. Oh yeah, and also when people tell you to change your thoughts and make them like positive. Okay, well, if you hate yourself, it's going to be very hard to start all of a sudden start saying, "Oh, I love myself." I mean, I don't think it works like that. So one thing I did was start changing my thoughts to slightly better things about myself every day, slightly better. And it's like now I'm almost walking around with saying positive things, which I never thought was even possible. Like my fears are getting less and less each day. And then I even started writing down things about what I wanted, how I wanted my life to be like, how I wanted to feel. And now I'm starting to believe that it's happening. I was stuck in what I would say almost like in a psychosis, but even being aware of it. I was having insomnia, somewhat hallucinating at night. And I came across this guy named Neville Goddard, and he teaches about the power of imagination. And one night I started thinking of myself being like in a jungle in Costa Rica, because that's where I want to be in my life probably. And I noticed that every night I did that, I no longer was thinking about all this nonsense at night, and I started sleeping better. And then every night I would start imagining myself where I wanted to be, who I wanted to be. I would imagine myself healed, and like my days kept getting better and better. And it's like I was on a roll of just. And then you start believing in yourself, you start changing the way you think about yourself, the people around you start getting better, that everything starts getting better in your life. And I now believe that anything is possible, and that anything can happen. And I just want my people to also know that if you can start believing in yourself and know there's nothing wrong with you, and maybe no one ever tells you that, and you don't think there's and you think there's something wrong with you, no one tells you that they love you, well, I'm sorry, but I do. I don't care what you've done or who you are. You're extremely important, and there is hope. And do not ever stop believing. I mean, I feel like I had to make this video because I've had friends, or I've known people that have committed suicide, and I have a lot of friends that have died from drug overdoses, and it's horrible because nobody understands them, and there's tons of people in the world that deal with these problems, and I just feel like maybe I need to take this like into my own hands, sort of, and try to let people know that there is hope and there is some things. So basically, that's my dream, is to make the word mental into a positive one. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. Let me know if you like the video. Actually, I don't even really care if you like the video, because I mean, I do, but if it could help one person, that's all that really matters to me. So I hope I'm not forgetting anything, but yeah, Thanks for watching.